All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music, real weird issues, and doing it in real time for a few real people just like you right there and just like me right here. Apparently, nothing caused Richie Faulkner's aortic valve explosion. All right, because that's kind of what it was. We're getting details about what happened to Richie. This was about 7 weeks ago. He's recovering nicely at home after 10 hours of surgery. Faulkner's medical episode happened while he was performing the closing song of, Priest's set on the final day of the Louder Than Life festival. Faulkner later said in a statement, as I watch footage from the Louder Than Life festival in Kentucky, I can see in my face the confusion and anguish I was feeling whilst playing Painkiller. Ironically, he's playing a song called Painkiller as my aorta ruptured and started to spill blood into my chest cavity. Oh, joy. 2 weeks after his surgery, Faulkner told reporters about how he felt while performing Painkiller with his bandmates at Louder Than Life. I became a little lightheaded. It didn't go away. I never fainted before. I've never passed out. Okay, so he's never fainted, never passed out. Kind of sounds like he was a fairly healthy guy. Never had any similar episodes to this, right? See, I try to pick up things from what he's saying, even though nobody is really saying all that much. I never passed out, but I knew that this felt like I was going to pass out in a minute. Luckily, it was about halfway into the song, he continued. So he's basically saying, hey, I was halfway in. So I had to keep going. If I had known how important it was, maybe I would have got off there a bit quicker. But I think that's the whole point for me. I had no idea whatsoever what it was. Faulkner said that he experienced a sharp pain as he was stepping off the stage. That's when it exploded, he said. Those are the words he used. It exploded. He goes, the more I read about it, the more astonishing it is to me to think that I even made it to the hospital. See, he was fairly close to the hospital. And then he had these really amazing surgeons that went 10 hours with him. I turned up in the hospital, and when we were actually operating, I think he meant to say when they, not we, because I don't think he did that. I think he was the patient and not the surgeon. It was quite a lot of time. The more I read about it, the more unbelievable the amount of time. I don't know how I'm still around today. Now, the article then goes to their famous cut and paste segment, and they're going to quote the CDC. Oh, joy. Aortic aneurysms are balloon-like bulges in the aorta, the large artery that carries blood from the heart through the chest and torso, according to the U.S. Centers of Disease Control. Why can't we get our information from just like straight up medical doctors? The CDC are a bunch of bureaucrats and a few doctors who are like the figureheads. But those doctors typically aren't doing 10-hour surgeries. Anyway, they go on. Dissections happen when the force of blood pumping can split the layers of the artery wall, allowing blood to leak in between them. Okay, well, thank you for that. See, that's like going to Wikipedia, right? We just went to Wikipedia, and that had nothing to do as to causation. Nobody, Richie's not talking. Nobody is speculating. I think the big question, the giant elephant, almost like a T-Rex that's in the room, is like, why did this happen? Why, Richie? What's up? Did you do anything differently, say a couple weeks before the concert, or a month before the concert, or even a couple months, whenever? Did you go to Walgreens, CVS? I mean, did you go to any of those places, Richie? and do something that a lot of people are doing right now? It's just, so nobody has any, again, this is a thread throughout this warped reality right now, is that nobody has any intellectual curiosity, even from this website .crap. They don't have any, like, they, of course they don't. What they do is cut and paste. And they typically cut and paste to make their points. You know, like if somebody is one of those crazy anti-thing people, they immediately start pasting CDC stuff in. The CDC says, really? Who cares what they say? Why are they the only people you can use when trying to make your point or to, you know, debunk somebody who comes along and says, you know, like a musician will say, and Aaron Rodgers did this, the quarterback, you know, I did some of my own research. Well, you can't. Who are you to do research? And there are commentators now that are actually saying, who are you to do research? You know nothing. Well, that's why I'm going to do some research. So it's like, what? I can't do research to learn more about this because you're basically saying I'm a nobody. So I don't have a right to do my own research. And then the people say, what? Do you think you're smarter than the doctors? Well, apparently I am in some cases, right? Because the doctors here don't make any statements. Nobody in this article makes a statement about why this happened to Richie Faulkner. And Richie doesn't say anything. What do? When Richie came to at the hospital, they probably knew what was going on. What do? They say, hey, Richie, shh, don't say anything, Richie. We got your back. We'll do another 10-hour surgery, whatever you need, buddy. But hush, hush, because we got to keep this going. Really? I mean, they're going after poor Eric Clapton because he's out there saying, hey, you know, I went to the restaurant. It kind of sucked. And here I am. And I want to tell you guys not to go to that restaurant. But Richie Faulkner, he basically says, my heart exploded. And again, we don't know. Here's where people will come at me with, well, you don't know why it happened. Correct. I don't know why it happened. And isn't that kind of bizarre? 7 weeks after it happened, that nobody has a theory as to why it happened. Was it a birth defect? Did he have some kind of weakened artery there? Did the surgeons find evidence that something else could have occurred in there? I'm sure they did. They went in there for 10 hours. You don't think they had some theories? You don't think they were, you know, having a few comments to themselves, maybe? But of course, nobody seems to care. It's just like, hey, you know, I had this incident the other day where my heart exploded and, you know, thankfully they put me back together again and I'll be out on the road soon. It'll be great. I mean, with what happened to you, you're going to tell people, hey, I can't wait to be in the band again. I'd be like, you know what? I need to write a book and retire. I need to have a very mellow lifestyle because they put stuff in there. You know, it's not as if they gave you a brand new heart. You know, it's like they put new parts in there, some of which are probably made out of metal, because I heard him a couple weeks ago saying, hey, I'm in a heavy metal band and I'm partly made out of metal. Isn't that fun? Isn't that cute? That's great. Hey, Richie, what happened? Why did this happen? No, that's not really important. What's important is the 10-hour surgery, the recap, the cut and paste from the CDC. That makes it all better. And then nobody's going to care. Everyone's going to say, hey, I'm good. I'm satisfied. Nothing to see here. Let's just move on. And this is everywhere now. It's not just in music. It's in sports. It's in entertainment. It's all over the place. So there you have it. Another nothing to see here. Don't worry about it. Richie Faulkner had a heart problem caused by absolutely nothing. It's amazing how that works.